This is Sean with Shortsaleopedia, and I'm going to give you a quick 5-minute walkthrough of your options if you've got a distressed property and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. Because there's basically just 5 options that you have. So if you're still paying the mortgage, you can obviously continue to pay the mortgage and stay in the house. You can choose to walk away, in which case your bank will likely foreclose. You can seek what's called a loan modification, which is basically where you go to the bank and try to get them to work with you and reduce your payment. You can do what's called a deed in lieu, which is basically just what it sounds like. You're giving them the deed in exchange for getting rid of the mortgage, or you can pursue a short sale. And so we're going to go through each one of these because it's good to understand the pros and cons of each. So first, let's look at continue to pay, right? So the obvious plus sides of this one is that you get to stay in the house. And the other one is that obviously your credit is, there is no credit impacted, so you're good there, right? The negatives of continuing to pay is if you're in this market right now, depending on when you bought, this is going to be unique to your situation, but if the house is significantly underwater, in other words, if you owe a lot more than it's currently worth, this is just a poor business decision. You're losing a lot of money. It's what they call throwing good money after bad. It may take, in this, given depending on how much you owe, it could take anywhere from around 10 years to recoup the value of your house. And so that's just, for a lot of people, this is just an unacceptable situation. It's a losing proposition, business-wise. So let's look at the next one. The next option is what we call burying your head in the sand, or just walking away, right? So I guess the good thing about foreclosure, if there is such thing, is that it's easy, right? So this is of all the things, this is the easiest one to just kind of, you could literally walk away from your house today and do nothing, and eventually they would foreclose on it, and it wouldn't require much work on your part. Unfortunately, the negatives of this one, it's pretty devastating credit-wise, right? So you're looking at somewhere between 250 and 300 points on your credit, and that's also going to stay on your credit from anywhere from 7 to 10 years. So a lot of people, if you intend to buy again in the future, this is just a really, this is devastating to your credit. So this is probably not a good option for you. So the next thing, you could, if you want to stay in the house, you can pursue a loan modification, or commonly called a loan mod. The good thing about this, again, is that you do get to stay in the house. The downside of it is there's quite a bit of work involved. It's about as much work as pursuing a short sale, and unfortunately, from what we've seen, there's only about 5% of these succeed. So for all that work and having that low chance of a success, it's just it's a sketchy bet, right? So there's not much likelihood that it's actually going to work. And from what we've seen, this is commonly used by the banks as a stall tactic. When people, instead of steering you towards a short sale, they'll push you towards a loan modification, run you through the hamster maze, and then nothing ever comes of it. So there's no guarantee on this one. So likely, but again, if you want to stay, if this is the key, if you want to stay in your house, this is probably something you should look into. But if you aren't emotionally attached to the house, this is probably not the best bet. So that brings us to number 4, which is called the deed in lieu. And this is exactly what it sounds. Deed in lieu means instead of paying your mortgage, the security for that mortgage is your house. So you're giving them your house in exchange for getting out of your mortgage. And in terms of the positives on this one, it's really difficult to see what positives there are. And here's why. The deed in lieu, this is the dark secret of the deed in lieu. It has the same impact as foreclosure. So it's going to hit you with the exact, as if you just walked away from your house, you're going to get the exact same repercussions credit-wise, only you're going to go through a lot of trouble to do a deed in lieu. So the real winner here is the bank. The bank gets a nicely packaged property. They don't have to come after you like they do in foreclosure and do all that work. So they're basically getting you to do all the work, but it's going to hit you the same as a foreclosure would. So this is really, I have yet to see a good reason to pursue a deed in lieu, although a lot of times you'll get steered this direction by your lender. So something to be aware of. So let's look at the last option, And of course, we're going to be a little bit biased here because this is what we do all day. We're experts at it. But the short sale. So a short sale is basically selling your house for less than it's worth, getting your lender to agree to it, and having them let you out of the loan and the deficiency. So the good thing about this is basically you get to walk. You get to start over again. You're free of your debt, and you can basically start fresh. There is quite a bit of work involved in it, so that would be a downside of a short sale. Is there is you've got to gather pay stubs and tax records and all these different documents. Write a hardship letter, find a buyer for your property, get the purchase contract, submit all this stuff in a nice package to the bank, and then they have to accept it. So there's quite a bit of work involved. The good news is that's what we're here for. We've got a network nationwide. We have 7,000 agents in our network. Out of there's about 1.1 million agents, real estate agents in the United States. We whittled that down just to 7,000. And those are people who are specifically screened, who have a success record in short sales specifically, and who have various designations like a JD, an MBA, CPAs. These are the upper echelon of the real estate agents in the United States. And not only that, but we work with them. We basically, let me show you, we use a piece of software here that allows us to interact with our agents, and for the agents to interact with you, the homeowner, to have a higher likelihood of getting the transaction through, and also to get the transaction to process more quickly. So the industry average time here for a transaction is somewhere around 6 to 8 months, and our people typically close in a little over 2 months with a higher likelihood. The latest stats are we're beating the industry close rate by 220%. So anyways, this is just an overview of your options. If you have more questions, we have a really good resource. This is our website, so you can come here. We have the largest dedicated Q&A system for short sales. So we have over, I think, 300 questions now with peer-reviewed answers, experts from all over the country answering your questions here. You can go, that's a great place to get educated. You can also watch, we have videos that we publish. We'll do seminars in person with homeowners, and we'll invite experts, people like the CPAs, title, escrow, lenders, all these experts to there, and they will answer homeowner questions. And so this is a great thing to watch. You can just find, it'll bring up questions that you wouldn't have thought to ask, and it's a good education tool. But if you're ready to work with one of our experts, go ahead, come to our website, click Get Started. Our website address is Shortsaleopedia.com. And within 24 hours of clicking this button, we'll put you in touch with the best person who's most qualified in your neighborhood to process your transaction. And if you're not ready, and if you want to continue investigating, but you're not prepared to start working with an agent, this is a really good, on our website, we have, be sure to sign up for this. This is a great set of resources. But we basically give you all these things. We give you videos like this one that you're watching right now. But do come here, fill out your email address, click download, and we'll send you a set of must-have resources. So anyways, thanks for watching. Again, Shortsaleopedia.com. Hopefully you found this useful, and we do look forward to working with you soon. Cheers.